Here we need to find an exact answer, so no calculator, in radians. These are inverse trig functions, and the important thing to remember is they are functions, so they have restricted ranges. You can't give every place that the cosine is -1, you give the angle whose cosine is -1 that's within the range. So for cosine, the range is between 0 and pi. That way we cover positive cosines in quadrant 1 and negative cosines in quadrant 2, and we don't ever repeat that the cosine values. So the interval we need to give our answer when we have an inverse cosine is between 0 and pi. So this question is asking us what angle has a sine value of -1 that's on this interval between 0 and pi. And we know the answer is that endpoint for the interval pi. That's where the cosine is -1. Now looking at sine, if we chose 0 to pi, that wouldn't work because quadrant 1 sine is positive and quadrant 2 sine is positive. It would actually repeat the values, so that's not going to be what we want. So we are going to pick the right half of the circle from -pi halves to pi halves, so we'd have a continuous interval here, and positive signs would be in quadrant 1 and negative signs would be in quadrant 4. So the interval where we can give our answers would be from -pi halves to pi halves. So if we're asking when is the sine -1/2 for what angle, I'm going to think of the sine values, the y value, it would be right here, and that would be at -pi6, which is on my interval. If you looked at it and thought 11 pi6, you're going to get it wrong because those angles are coterminal, but to have an inverse function we can have exactly one answer for an input, and so it's got to be an angle between -pi halves and pi halves. Not anything that's coterminal, got to be on that interval.